Hello everyone. Since closing our doors in March of 2020, San Juan Community Theater launched our Snapshot season of filmed performances by artists from across our island and beyond. I want to take a moment to thank all of the actors, musicians, dancers, directors, playwrights, painters, sculptors, production crew, editors, and the many, many others who made this season possible. I'd also like to thank our donors and the Producers Club members whose generous support has kept the light alive on our stage. Now, for over 30 years, SJCT has produced a Playwrights Festival for island authors. And as we're getting ready to open up for live outdoor performances this summer, I can think of no better way to close out our Snapshot season than with these monologues from Playwrights Festivals of our past. Please enjoy Island Voices.
I hope I'm not disturbing you. Yeah, I do hope I'm not disturbing you. But while you're waiting here for the program to start, I thought I'd just slip out here and tell you about my dream. I'll just burst if I don't tell someone. Because I tried to tell John and my buddies about it, but the words didn't come right. I mean, we don't usually talk about dreams. When we meet up after work for a beer or two, well, let's put it this way. Anything that the body can do, any little thing. I got at least 1,000 jokes about it, and my buddies can match me. So my dream was a one-liner, like a lot of our jokes. A voice said, "Thomas, your job on Earth is to evolve as a spiritual being." Well, I don't know about you, but the only spirits that my buddies and I ever talk about are the ones that come out of a bottle. An evolution. Well, I learned about that in school, but I didn't take it personally, and I certainly never considered it my job. We're talking big change here. I have never remembered a dream before, but this one shook me awake. I did everything I could to forget about it. I jumped out of bed, I got ready for work, but it was Sunday. I mean, it was as if the dream decided to come on a day that I couldn't get away from it. And church, no, I couldn't even go to church. I never go to church. Besides, church seemed too small, maybe, for the dream. The dream was something big, something, I don't know. See, these days I've been reaching for words I never use. I can't figure out what they are. Anyhow, I went outside to get away from that dream and started to pick tent caterpillars off the willow tree. But suddenly, I didn't want to stomp them with my boot like I usually did, which I guess is why I made this box. See, it's got holes at the top for air and rainwater, see? And I put the willow leaves that the caterpillars had partly eaten in there, and then I put the caterpillars into their new home. And then the next day, when I was putting in new caterpillars, the others were up at the top, near the lid, trying to get out. But then after a few days, they all just stayed at the bottom and eating whatever leaves I put in. It was as if they made themselves at home. But, well, I have to tell the truth. I mean, you're strangers. What good are strangers if you can't confide in them? Besides, this dream makes me want to tell the truth. I mean, I know that this box is not a home for these caterpillars. It's a prison. Well, if I said something bad about the government, they could put me away in a box too, and no one in their right mind would consider that prison a home. But maybe, after a while, I'd give up trying to get out too. See, I should destroy them, but I can't take them before their time. They seem holy. That's the word I've been looking for. Holy. Everything's holy. Everyone's holy. You, stranger, you're holy. Holy moly, that means I'm holy too. Wow. Talk about big change. Seeing the whole world as holy. Now that can change a man. That can reach down, creep into his heart, and take him and make him tell the truth and protect tent caterpillars. Even the words I've been using have been changing. John said I wasn't cussing anymore, asked if I had been getting religion. God forbid. No, God forbid. No, religion's too small, too, for that dream. That dream wasn't just out there somewhere in a building or in a person or 2,000 years ago. It was inside. It was everywhere. It was every time. Anyhow, I told John that I hadn't gotten religion, but I'd been wondering what my job on earth was. And, well, the truth did its best to stumble out. And after the first few words, John got a hold of a caterpillar and, thinking I was talking about a tractor, said, "Thomas, if you want to change jobs from carpenter to tractor driver, we can arrange that." Why did this dream happen to me if I can't even talk about it with my friends? It feels like prison, not saying what the most important thing is that's on my mind. Maybe it's time for a woman in my life. They know about spiritual stuff. But I don't think I could even love someone like I love these caterpillars. Love these caterpillars. Holy moly. It's the truth. I love these caterpillars like they're my own children. I'm going surefire crazy. Yeah, you know, these caterpillars, they know how to evolve. First crawling and then flying. Maybe they're showing me how to do my job. I'll set them free. Plenty of places where they can go about and roam, live, not bother anyone. They don't deserve prison, and neither do I. But here I am hiding what I think, or what someone thinks. Maybe I am going crazy. A voice in my head like some Joan of Arc? Thomas of Arc here, spiritually evolving. You know, I sure don't understand all of this, but I like it. You know, it makes me laugh. I think if this is spiritually evolving, I can do this. Yes, I can. And I think now I could probably tell my buddies about it. Give them a good laugh too. Well, you know, we'd talk about the body and have fun with that. What good is the spirit if you can't have fun with that too? You know, I think it'd be fun to drive a caterpillar tractor. I should talk to John. Thank you. You folks have been real hospitable. Thank you for making it so easy to talk about this. Happy evolution and enjoy your evening.
They're all asleep. I think if I had to hear, "Are we there yet?" just one more time, I'd have stopped this car, gotten out, and walked the rest of the way without them. I don't get it. What's so important about being there anyway? Whatever happened to enjoying the journey? The whole point of this trip was to spend time together, not yearn for some arbitrary endpoint commonly referred to as there. But when you think about it, there's a lot to that little question. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Who is we? You, me, us, them? Global collection of humanity? Where are we going? And what is our destiny on this small blue-green marble of a planet? And what does it mean to be there anyway? Where is there? What is there?
To be here or not to be there? That is the question. Whether we be there, or rather here, we are. We can be nowhere else but here, and yet seemingly forever our hearts and minds yearn to be there. When you are there, are you not really here? And has there not stepped into the vacated footsteps of where you were, or waits ahead where you have yet to be? There is behind you or before you, but never where you are. Like Schrodinger's cat, just trying to determine where we are means we aren't. No matter how hard you try, you will always be here, but never there. And the implication of yet that lays before you tauntingly, like a distant horizon or wavering mirage, implying that there is some future point in time where you will be there, yet implies a dissatisfaction with being here and the length of time it takes to get there, suggesting that the current state of being here is less desirable than the unattainable future state of being there. There, a goal, a place, a state of being that haunts us, an unattainable endpoint to which we assert happiness, desirability, nirvana. But forever, our state of being is being here. Wait until they wake up and I have to tell them we will never be there.
Cassie, listen to me. You gotta breathe. Just breathe. Everything is okay. No, don't freak out. I promise you, everything is okay. You're safe, I'm safe, we are safe. I can see you doing the dubious eyebrow thing, but you gotta trust me. And you gotta listen. Remember, breathe. In, out, in, out. Good. Everything is okay. No one is watching us. No one is going to break into the apartment. No one is going to hurt you. No one even knows the painting is here. Okay, I really need you to not freak out right now. I know you want to, but you gotta listen. Can you do that for me? I need you to listen because I have something to tell you. Okay, the eyebrow thing isn't helping. I'm trying to be serious. Are you listening? Thank you. Remember how I told you that I bought this painting from a little old Dutch guy at a flea market in Amsterdam last month? Well, that was a lie. You were right just now when you said that this might not be a reproduction, because this is a very real painting that I stole from the Rijksmuseum last month. You see, I steal stuff. Art, mostly. I'm a thief. Is this one of your I'm in shock and can't talk moments, or are you mad at me? You know what? Maybe don't answer that. Let's just breathe. In, out, in, out. So no breathing then? Okay, that's fair. Okay, that look that you're giving me is totally justified. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I didn't know how. Like, how do you break the news to your live-in girlfriend that you are most certainly not a barista, but are in fact an art thief and have been most of your life? Like, when is there a good time to say that, you know? I'm still the same person. I'm still your girlfriend. I'm still the one who insists on being the big spoon. It's still me. There was just this huge thing you didn't know. I wanted you to know. Really, I did. I just didn't know how to tell you. I'm sorry. I can see that you have a million questions that are about to boil over. How about I make us some tea and tell you everything you want to know? Does that sound good? Great. Peppermint or chamomile?
I remember. My mother used to start her favorite bedtime story by saying, "It was to be quite a day, the day when they planted those trees." And then she would say, "I remember the barn. Wasn't that old, but the mist rising from the roof made it seem ancient and otherworldly. The warmth from the animals inside had joined with the cold, still nip in the air. The warming wood shingles gave up their frost in lazy plumes of steam. It was still February, but this was to be a special day. Your grandfather had been counting on it." The memory of that day was probably reinforced by her anticipation, and she would continue with building drama. Spring was just weeks away, and a few brave plants had poked through the winter's accumulation of leaves and twigs. The now rotting debris lay testament to the harsh and chilling winter winds. But that morning, everything was still. The winds had subsided. The steam rose directly into the brightening morning sky. The sun had yet to appear. The dark forested hill made a bold line that defined the horizon between earth and sky. Beyond and out of sight was the new town of Friday Harbor. With luck, it would remain, not like Argyle, or even like the first town of San Juan that burned to the ground. At this point, Mother would always try to make this just for me by saying, "Your sister, snuggled sleeping in bed, was unaware of the lingering chill on the window, unaware of the festivities of the day to come, your grandfather becoming one of the first town council members, the planting of the trees, unaware of this special moment, unaware that the boys had already risen to start the chores of the day, unaware of the hard life ahead." Mother would always stop here, just as the sun was about to show over the fir trees. It was as if the sun would start the daylight clock. And here, the story of the special moment would end. This memory has been with me in an indelible form, as if my mind had taken a photograph and kept it in a special place, a place for happy thoughts and calm times, a place to celebrate the joy of hope. This memory was revisited often during my life. It came to me during the birth of my first child. In a lumber camp, far from my family. Remembering home and my mother helped calm the fear and pain of bringing a life into the world. Over again, I would relive that moment, that morning, in our home, looking across the San Juan Valley, toward the Olympic Mountains, across the straits. And even now, I can see the summer breeze moving the grass, the way they parted the reeds around the cow pond, sometimes revealing trumpeter swans with their gray brood. And this was my world, and I had wanted it to remain forever. But forever can be a very long time. Those 2 saplings my grandfather planted have grown now. Seems strange to remember him lifting them from the wet gunny sacks and gently planting first one and then the other. The trees would mark the site between the harbor and the street, Spring Street. And to me, these would become the spring trees, continually watered by the spring that runs under the street. Now, their trunks are larger by twice than the size of the holes, their original holes. He would be proud that they're still at the edge of the water, that someone along the line had included them in the town seal. And that was a century ago.
I came back to the bench where I'd been sitting. In the daylight, I realized it was just part of a small oval park overlooking the harbor. It wasn't anything grand or grassy, just two gigantic elms, a couple of benches, a small gazebo, and a monument memorializing islanders who had given their lives in defense of our country. It struck me how differently this special setting had looked late at night. You're probably wondering why I'm still here. It's because of what I actually found out, and also what I only believe. What I found out is this. The wife of the man who planted these trees was the first white girl born on San Juan Island. A road west of town bears her father's name, Douglas. Their daughter delivered her first two children in a logging camp in Port Renfrew. She taught school on 3 islands and helped her husband run a grocery store. That was the store that offered food for credit during the Depression and nearly owned the entire chain of islands before the credit was redeemed. She was 5 feet 6 inches tall and as iron-willed as she was loving and kind. Her name was Jessie Matilda, just like her mother. One afternoon, by a twist of fate, I met her granddaughter, Terry. She had returned to Friday Harbor for a brief visit. Coincidences like this happen all the time on a small island. We both happened to be waiting for the same ferry, which was late. And to pass the time, we had each purchased an ice cream cone from the corner store. Like so many in the summer, we sat down under the elms to enjoy the cool shade and to rest our feet. I was still under the spell of the elms and must have been looking at them when Terry, for no particular reason, volunteered that her great-grandfather had planted them. I have to admit, I was stunned. Our conversation carried over to the ferry ride to Anacortes, and she filled in a lot of blanks. But before she left, she said she had one more thing to do. She wanted to take home a leaf from each of the elm trees. What I believe is this. Deep from within the rock here flows a constant spring which has nourished this island since before humans existed. By comparison, we are all just visitors. History does not record why the Spring Street trees were planted. We know who planted them and that they must have wanted to leave a mark for those to come, to see and to remember those who had gone before. Now, as a breeze blows in from the harbor, it is as if they are all waiting at the entry to the city, like leaves waving in the breeze.
Thanks for watching, and thanks to the donors, volunteers, and supporting families that have made SJCT's 2020-2021 season possible. Click subscribe on our YouTube page to continue to see videos from San Juan Community Theater. Like all arts organizations, SJCT needs your help during this incredibly difficult season. To support SJCT or learn more, please visit sjctheater.org/support.